Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Wizard 101 video. I know I haven't done a Pirate 101 video in a while, but I will get back to that soon. I've just been on a little bit of a, I don't know, like a ranty mood, if you've noticed my last few videos, and I'm just going to keep that trend up today, because I want to talk about Khrysalis. Now, Khrysalis, if you don't know, is the last world of Arc 2. If you don't know, I don't really know how you don't know, but now you do. Khrysalis is the last world of Arc 2, and if you've watched some of my YouTube videos and you've specifically watched How Long Does It Take to Beat Wizard 101, you know that it is actually by far the longest world in the game. It took me over 20 hours to beat, and that is a generous number. 20 hours is a long time. That is a full day of questing straight, which is crazy. Right? And that's that. I'm just saying that, like, those 20-hour estimates are also me questing myself up with a fire. I think without it, it could go anywhere from 30 to 40 hours, actually, which is insane. Soloing this world would be nigh impossible, but people have done it, obviously. That's why I say nigh impossible. If you have done it, you are, like, mad respect to you. You are a level above the average Wiz player, and, you know, I salute you for doing the work that none of us could actually do. So, today I'm going to be doing something. I'm not going to title this the Khrysalis rant, because I don't want to copy Formal Phantom any more than I already have in my life. But this is basically why Khrysalis is my least favorite world and what they need to do to change it, why it's particularly awful, despite actually having a good theme, a good plot, and overall, like, is naturally good. It's just painful. So the first thing I'd like to mention, the music, the graphics, all pretty good, actually, not gonna lie. The story, also pretty good. I really like both of those factors, and those are some of my favorite factors in a world, right? When I look at Mushu, for example, one of the reasons I like it the most is because of the music, and I thought that the story was extremely well paced. That's why, if you look at my Mushu's my favorite world video, that's why Mushu's my favorite world, because of those factors, plus the fact that I really liked everything about it. Khrysalis, on the other hand, I like those two factors, but it lacks a significant third factor that is necessary for every good world, and that is pacing. Pacing of the world has to be good, otherwise it's either going to be too short or too long. And by too long, in this case, it's obnoxiously long. Like, literally obnoxiously long. Now, why is it so long and painful? Well, it's not just because the bosses are powerful. At this point, actually, the Khrysalis bosses aren't that powerful. With the 20% health reduction update and the critical update combined, the bosses actually are not that difficult. Me and my friend Calvin have gone through, and at most, they have 20,000 health. Sure, there are a few bosses that are a bit challenging, but they're still doable. Back in the day, Khrysalis bosses had 24,000 and upwards health, and would naturally just destroy you all the time because you'd crit on them and then they'd crit block, and then, you know, naturally all of that stuff. That's just extremely painful, right? So there's that. But what they did, and this is the main issue with Khrysalis, I'm coming to the front of the problem right now, is they made way too many quests for one world. It makes sense. It's the final world of Arc 2. You'd think that it would be significantly longer. But the problem is that a lot of the quests are actually difficult and they take a long time. So, for example, Arc 1 alone, you need to go to Bastion, right? You need to do Silent Market, Tyrian Gorge, Moon Cliffs, Lastwood, Fort Rakius, and then get to Crescent Beach. That's 6 streets, right? And you'd think 6 streets. Well, in Crocotopia, there's only about 7 streets, and that world only took me 2 hours. Well, guess what? You're going to be doing these streets for probably around 15 or more, because All of them are extremely packed with quests. All of them have probably at least 30 quests each and are just extremely painful. I think the grand total of Khrysalis quests is like 290 or something crazy like that, which is insane. Because if you're curious, that is Wizard City, Krakatopia, and Marleybone all put together, but added difficulty times a million. So that's the main issue with it, is that they took what they should have done, as in like the bare minimum of what they did, and then they multiplied it by 11 is the issue. Now, certain streets I actually believe are incredibly well paced. Like Radiance Reborn is really good. The Ruined Alcazar is really good. The Sardonyx is actually really good. Conda Desert, decent, right? But then you have streets like the Hive that take literally 2 hours in of itself to do plus. You have the Shadow Palace, which seems like it would just be a good final area. And then you have the Gallery, which takes an hour, right? You have Tyrion, or Forakius isn't that bad in my opinion, but you have stuff like the Tyrion Gorge, which takes a literal millennia to do, right? You have all of these streets that are way too packed and way too condensed, and this comes to head in the fact that honestly by Crescent Beach you're already tired of this world, you're already done with it, and you're ready for it to be over, right? When this first came out, the people didn't have that issue because they got to Crescent Beach and then they had a few months to recuperate because that was Khrysalis Part 1, and then Khrysalis Part 2 came out a few months later, right? So that gave the people a break back then to mentally recuperate and get ready for Khrysalis Part 2. But nowadays, you don't have that break. You just go right into Khrysalis Part 2, which, let me tell you, Khrysalis Part 2 actually is a bit better than Khrysalis Part 1, but only slightly, only marginally is it better. So what effects does this have? The overpacking of quests. Well, first off, for me anyway, this soundtrack, I can barely listen to it anymore. I am so tired of the Khrysalis music that despite the fact it's an epic soundtrack that feels like it fits the world perfectly, I am so tired of it. I literally would not be able to listen to this on like a day-to-day basis. Like all the other new music is nostalgic for me in the first 2 arcs. This one is not. I do not like it. So there's that. Second, every enemy feels like you're fighting like literally Darkmoor Malastare. You feel like you're getting ready for war every single time you see a boss fight because it's so painful. Collect quests are painful. Mob quests, some mobs have 5,000 health, which is a little bit nutty, not gonna lie. Even at level 100, that's actually quite a bit of health. I think the main issue is that most mob fights would take 1 round, say if you're duoing, but if you're duoing, 5k health would take 2 rounds, and then if you're soloing, it would take 3 or 4 rounds, is my point. Mob quests take too long as well. And I feel like that's an issue. So, I've summed up my issues with the world. I'm not going to keep you here for too much longer, but I'm going to tell you how I think King's Isle could fix it. Well, first off, not cut the quests in half, but maybe combine a few. Lower the mob quests in difficulty specifically. I think the health reduction update actually really did help this world. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it did not, but I think some areas such as Tyrion Gorge with its awful collect quests could be reduced significantly and would make Khrysalis a lot better. Moon Cliffs could have a bit less mob quests because that also has a ton of mob quests, and that would help it as well. I think the Hive could be reduced quite a bit as well, and I don't think these reductions would ruin the game. I don't think that it would lessen the difficulty of Khrysalis to a dramatic degree. It would just make it a lot more tolerable. So that's my ideas for why Khrysalis is my least favorite world, how they could fix it. I think it's purely the amount of times I've done it. I've now done it 5 times. And let me tell you, I'm tired of doing Khrysalis. 1 time was enough. 5 times is way too much. And I think that's the issue, is there's replayability on most other worlds. Even Azteca has more replayability than Khrysalis, in my opinion. And that in of itself is crazy. So that's it for this video. Let me know what your least favorite world is in the comments below. Let me know why you think that way. If you enjoyed, please drop a like, hit the sub button. I appreciate all the support I've been hitting recently. I'm actually already about to hit 1,100 subs, which is crazy. I just hit 1,000 like a week ago. So you guys are kind of crazy. You're kind of nutty. What are you doing? Yeah. Another thing, this is just a little bit of advertising. I wasn't paid to do this at all, but I just thought it would be cool to mention. Go to Formal Phantom's YouTube and then go to, and then join his Discord. Already, if you like his videos, look at them, watch his videos. They're actually really cool. I really enjoy them. You can see he's the only featured channel on my channel, but I would also like to mention that his Discord server, to join it, just because I'm there, I'm chatting. If you want to see me, I'm there. You can also join my Discord server, which is in the description below. Not nearly as cool, not nearly as good, but if you want to chat with me sometime, let me know. Do not bring trouble to his Discord, or I will get someone to ban you. Anyways, that's it for today. See you in the next video. Have a fantastic day. Thank you all for watching.